So, next section of chapter 5 is metric development. In this chapter, we'll take example of snowmobile website. This is my first website and I'm novice about data analytics. I'm not sure how to capture the behavior of customer, and I don't know how to capture those metrics to understand the behavior of customers in my website. But at the same time, I'm not novice about snowmobile. I have lots of experience in snowmobile and I put latest product in snowmobile in my website. So we will deal with some metrics that will help me to understand different customer bases in my website. The first step is conceptualization. Conceptualization means helps to understand an abstract concept into stuff that we can measure. In terms of website, there are three main core concepts in every web product that will help us to understand the user behavior. First, acquisition. Second, retention. Third, engagement. Fourth, revenue. Acquisition. Acquisition is about how the customer comes to the product or joins a web product. Retention. It's about how long the customer stays within the web product. Engagement. Engagement means how customer interacts with the web product. Revenue. Revenue means how much money is exchanged in the web product. We need to understand the behavior of users in the web product. We need to watch closely to understand this concept in more closely. To understand this concept, we have to watch the behavior of the customer more closely. To make the concept generalizable, we have defined this concept at the really high level. But as we have already discussed before, to test a hypothesis, we may need some specialized concepts and some specialized metrics to measure those concepts, which we have already done before. Second step is acquisition. The first step, now let's dig deeper into the first concept, acquisition. Acquisition is how the customer joins a product or comes to the product. The related concept with acquisition is called onboarding. Usually, onboarding is also part of the acquisition. Onboarding means how we make the customer register within the product, such as filling out a credit card or filling out a name, information, addresses. This is all part of onboarding. Some onboarding are intensive, such as it has lots of survey questions. You have to fill out lots of information about your financial information, like credit card details, bank information details. Some onboarding are easy, such as just putting your email address and name. Completion of these activities is part of the acquisition process. Now, we have discussed about acquisition, but we haven't actually defined what acquired means. So what does acquired mean? Well, it is up to us how we define acquire. We can define acquire. You can define a customer as acquire when customer stays in the web product for 1 minute or 1 second or just lands in a product. So we can change the definition according as it suits our need. Some of the common acquisition metrics are ratio-based metrics and funnel metrics. Ratio-based metrics. Ratio-based metrics are based on ratios. These are simple metrics and really commonly used. Ratio is a part or a share of a composite whole. For example, we can create ratio. We can create a metric about the user that tells us how much the users are coming from traditional channels such as Google or Facebook. Ratio matrix is defined over a certain time period and population as any other metric. The second ratio-based metric is cost of acquisition. In a web product, understanding cost of acquisition is important to keep the cost low. It is calculated by adding number of the users who have joined a product divided by cost of gaining. Cost of acquisition is defined by cost of gaining a user in the product, and it is calculated by total cost of gaining new users in a given period divided by total number of acquired users in a given period. User funnel. Initial behavior is a good predictive indicator of how the user will stay in the product. Usually it is defined by series of behavior, not just by one behavior. The series of stream of customer behavior or actions, it is called customer journey. Customer journey is a total sum of experience the user have within the web product. There is something called user funnel diagram. As we have discussed before, it's a diagram that depicts the series of user steps and a proportion of users who moves from one step to next step. This user funnel diagrams is useful the when there's a path dependence in a web product. One the metric used in user funnel diagram is user completion ratios. Meaning it means the proportion of users who complete a given action in a web in the user funnel. So if you see a dramatic drop off in the completion ratio, then then we must investigate why there's a dramatic drop off in the completion ratio. Slope. Slope is how much. Slope means how steep the curve is in this user funnel diagram. Steeper the slope means more users are dropping. It is best to find the earliest step when there's a dramatic drop off in the user to understand the root cause. The next step in web in the user life cycle in a product is retention. Retention is how long the user stays in a product. It is all about stickiness. How long, how much the web product can make users stick in the product. The more retention you have, the more face time users have with the web product. To measure retention, the mostly used metric is average days in product. It is calculated by total number of user days by total number of users in the total number of user days divided by total number of users in a product. The second use metric is Boolean true or false metric. It is used whether users have reached a certain milestone. Let's say, for example, we want to understand if the users have reached the day 3. We'll take all the users and mark true or false whether users have reached day 3. This ratio of proportion of users who have reached day 3 is the Boolean metric. Customer churn. Customer churn is how fast the users are leaving the web product. It is calculated by total number of users who have joined a web product in day X, total number of users who have left a web product, total number of customers who have joined a web product in day X but who have left, divided by total number of customers who have joined in the web product at day X. Undefined denominators. There is a problem with the undefined denominator when the population is same in numerator and denominator. This is called undefined denominator problem. This problem usually exists in period metric. In cohort metric, it is simple. It's not a problem because the defining population is straightforward. Like for example, we want to understand a cohort metric of population in a web product at day X. We just choose a population and choose the interval. It is not a problem. But with the period metric, it is not straightforward. Let's let's take a case of period customer churn rate. It is clear. We know that the numerator has to be the total population who have left the product in period X, but we don't know what the denominator should be. Should it should it be total population at the beginning of the period, middle of the period, or end of the period? And it will give us different results based on what answer we choose. And there is no right answer. Different companies will use different choices. Next is engagement metric. Engagement is about how active the user is within our website or web product. The common metric used for engagements are monthly active users and daily active users. Monthly active users means how many users were active in our website divided by total number of users in our web product last month. And same with daily active users. How many users were active in our website yesterday divided by total number of users. These both are rolling metrics, meaning they cover they cover they cover from January 1st to February 1st, and it is calculated in daily basis, meaning there's a monthly active user for January 2nd to February 2nd, January 3rd to February 3rd. In this way, it is rolling, and there's some overlap with the previous day metric. Net Promoter Score. Net Promoter Score is commonly used metric to understand how popular is our product with the web users. Meaning, if the Net Promoter Score is high, then user is likely to recommend our product to other users. If the Net Promoter Score is low, then our product will not be recommended by the users to other users. Other metric are visitor frequency, recency, engagement with product features, median length of session. As we say, the engagement with the product features or functionality of the product, it is it is measure of how many users are actually using the gated product features, and this can be either paid or user have to do something to use that gated feature. This is the example of engagement with product features. Average length of the user session can be another metric. Scroll down on the home page or feed page. Scroll depth. How much the user scroll down in the home page or feed page is another metric that can be used. The metric can be divided into either passive metrics or active metrics. Passive metrics are engagement. Engagement can be either passive or active. Passive engagement is where users reads the content on a website, such as viewing the photo of a friend, while active engagement is messaging that friend after viewing the photo. Active engagement is more difficult to achieve than passive engagement in general. And conversely, metric for passive engagement is challenging to define. This is because we never know whether user is just scrolling through the website or is actually reading the website. Next is revenue. Revenue is how much money is generated by the website. Profit is how much money is left after subtracting costs from revenue. Revenue metric is related to purchasing behavior. One of the metric that is mostly used for revenue is average revenue per user. It is calculated by total revenue generated by the website divided by total number of users. Purchase conversion, meaning total number of users who have purchased a product in the website divided by total number of users. It shows that how many people are actually purchasing in the website. Customer lifetime value. It is total profit generated by per customer. For each customer, we can either predict the value, or if the customer has earlier left, then we can actually calculate the value. Like for example, if the customer has earlier left, then it will be total profit generated by the customer. Lastly, let's talk about progression ratios. Progression ratio is how is are used to estimate the addictiveness of a behavior. For example, like purchasing. The purchasing progression ratio defines the likeliness of second to third purchase, third to fourth purchase, and fourth to fifth purchase. Calculating progression ratios for purchasing is important to understand how likely is the user going to progress to higher level of purchasing. Higher ratio, let's say 0.95 or higher, then we can say that the purchasing behavior is sticky. And it is also useful to understand where Customers are failing to progress in purchasing behavior. For example, let's say the case of where we can see that there is a high purchase progression ratio from third to fourth purchase and it drops off dramatically from fourth to fifth purchase. Then we can investigate why there is a dramatic drop off. Overall, revenue metrics are pretty standard and useful to understand how revenue is being generated and how much profit is being generated. Bottom line, we have discussed about metric development, conceptualization, four key stages of users in web product, acquisition, retention, engagement, and revenue.